Elizabeth are
Yes.
two of the great people we've ever come across. We had the
them.
great luxury of going for lunch with them today.
Yes.
And Fred, when I got there, Noodles and I walked in together. You were already sitting there.
For half an hour.
For
I
half
got
an
there
hour.
very early.
Yes.
And me and Fred and Elizabeth, who I thought his name was Jerry. And
no, you pivoted.
But
his
you
name.
called him Fred. This
were calling
okay? So
him
this
Fred.
is what happened. I sit down. And
I'm so embarrassed because I love this guy. He's the best guy.
He is the
awesome,
best. We love
amazing
Fred.
guy.
Yes.
He was just. We had a blast.
We did.
Here is my confusion. Okay. I sit down, and we introduce each other, and O goes, "Yeah, I've been sitting here talking with Fred." Like, you
Yes.
heard that.
Yes,
you
we
said
heard it.
Fred.
Fred
and then you
Elizabeth.
started calling him Jerry. I'm like, all right, we must have missed
A
where you
joke.
joked about, he said, I
yeah.
love Jerry's percentages, and you say, you know what, Fred, I'm going to call you Jerry now.
Honest to God,
It turns out you just thought his name was Jerry.
It morphed from Fred into Gary into Jerry. By the
Right.
end, like
I know, but the Jim Taddy rule is you have to correct me. As soon as I call him Jerry, you got to say, oh, no,
Dude.
his name's Fred.
But I went out of my way to give you the, hey, Fred, let me ask you a question. Like, I tried to
Yes.
throw it out there, and I thought it registered with you, which made it only make me feel even more confident you had established as a joke you're going to call Fred
Okay, so
Jerry.
last question on this. When I left, did he?
Why would you think his name was
I don't
Jerry? Like, where did that come from?
I thought it was a bit. I swear.
I don't
did
know.
too.
I literally, my wires crossed, and I thought his name was Jerry because a couple times I called him Jerry.
I know you
Dude,
did.
You went over the top to you like, let
he
me tell you
stuck to
something,
him.
Jerry.
At the end, so O had to leave a little bit early to get home because he had stuff to take care of.
No,
And-
but I want to know, Jamie, when I left, did he say, why is that guy calling
No,
me Jerry?
he just ate it because somehow you changed his name halfway through lunch. It was Fred and Elizabeth were having
Yeah.
a great visit.
Amazing.
Lots of laughs, telling
Yeah,
stories.
and I love the guy. He's an old school guy,
we
and now
love
I
him.
hate myself because
No.
the second half of lunch, I transitioned, I guess, from Fred to Jerry, and I don't know why.
There was a trade to announce.
the last I can picture this like it was because it was only an hour ago. He did the handshake, the stiff handshake,
Yep.
shook and said, "Great to meet you, Jerry."
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, why is he calling him? And then in my mind, I started second guessing myself, going, his name's Fred. But why
I
is
was
he calling
fully
him Jerry?
aware we were meeting Fred.
This
We
has
were
been a
sent
month in the making, maybe longer.
multiple texts and emails, and this was set up, and it was going to be awesome. And I heard you call him Fred.
Yes.
I heard you say Fred, and then you called him Jerry the rest of the time.
By the end.
Anyway, Fred, Jerry, Elizabeth, amazing.
we love
people.
you.
The
They're
three
the
of
best.
them. We
All
had a
three
great
of them.
time.
We had a
The
blast.
three of them.
Yeah, we sure did.
One of the greats.
One of the
the
all-time greats.
Honestly,
and we extended, because you extended invitations to future endeavors.
Yes, you're taking-
and meetups.
I really like the guy. I could see, like, I drive through Horseshoe Valley, and I know that's where Fred lives. I would stop in and have a coffee and talk sports with that guy. That's how much he made an impression on
Absolutely
me. He's
great
old
guy.
school, and I love him. I'm just so mortified that I don't know why my wires were crossed, and I started belting out Jerry's to a guy that's name was Fred.
I thought there was a Gary in there at one point.
I
too.
thought
It
I
was-
heard a Gary
it
as well.
was outrageous.
I don't
Like,
know
it
what was going on with you, but you were on your own program. Like you were talking to Jerry and Gary, and Noodles
Yeah.
and I were talking to Elizabeth, who
It
her
was-
daughter lives in Calgary. We were
Yeah,
talking
we were
about
talking about that.
the
Like-
Flames, and how about the Flames? They just made a trade.
I think that's a really good trade for Calgary because we're talking off air. Like Calgary's got nothing but a boatload of picks. You got to start using them. You got it. Like they're getting to work there because they got a new building coming. They've bottomed out. They've got to get to the next step. That Nemish player seems like he can play.
Well, he went second overall, right? He was a second overall pick. Doesn't mean anything until you prove it
Until
in the
you can
NHL.
play, yes.
But Calgary gave up 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick. Neither of the picks are their own. It was like
Right.
Colorado's pick and a Vegas pick, I believe,
Yeah.
and the Anderson deal
Anderson
and the
and
Kadri
Kadri,
deal. And they get Nemec from New Jersey. That makes you wonder, Jersey's got a new GM.
Yeah.
Is he going to flip those picks himself and get active Like it's a storm here in the NHL. You called it.
I'm telling you, but I
called it. You
this
said
is the
craziness
tip of the
is going to
iceberg.
happen.
I think this is the tip of the iceberg because teams now, like this was a watered down league this year, and you talk about it all the time how the talent. There's 32 teams now, and everybody believes that they got a chance to win, and I think there's a chance. Like there's a lot of teams that are going. We might be 2 or 3 players away from being in a playoff spot. Let's go for that. And to me, I think you're going to see a lot of managers that are either being proactive with picks or trying to get them to spin them into other players.
Yeah.
Steve Staios got to work because he's got picks, right? Like
yes, he does.
Same thing. Calgary's got a lot of picks. So it'd be interesting.
Chicago's got a lot of picks.
Yeah, I saw that,
They have like 3. Now, again, they have their own pick, their 4th pick.
Yeah.
But then they have, I want to say, pick like 34, 36, and 42 or something.
Right.
Like Chicago's got a lot of picks. And again, the Nye stuff has been out there. And that's an interesting proposition.
Won't go away, though. I would like it to go away.
Here's. I was talking with Jonas about this. I think that's his name. I was calling him something else, but I'm pretty sure it's Jonas. After the show yesterday, we were discussing, the idea of him going to Chicago, like Matthew Nyes, for the 4th overall pick. And I'm sure there would be more details and more depth to it.
Right.
But here's how I would present it. I'd ask you guys, because a lot of people are caught up in okay, where are you right now? What's going to help you this year?
Right.
Let's say the 4th overall pick is on the table for Nyes, and that's kind of the crux of it. There's maybe there's another pick or other players, but you're not getting like a stud young defenseman and the 4th overall pick for Matthew Nyes. Any Leaf fan that thinks you're getting that, I think you're delusional. Like they have a couple of really good young defensemen there. You're not getting that and the 4th overall pick for a winger. Like it's not going to happen in my opinion. But let's say they love the Leafs. Gavin McKenna and Chase Reed. Chase Reed's the defenseman out of the Sioux. And you can do this. It happens a lot in the league. You do your due diligence. You find out San Jose's taking Stenberg, Vancouver's taking Malhotra. So that kid's there at 4.
Yeah.
And you believe he's got a chance to be the next Drew Doughty. Let's use him as an example. Right shot defenseman, stud coming out of the O. I'm making that trade if I have that belief in the player. I don't care what I've told Austin Matthews, Jim Hiller, Keith Pelly. If you get an opportunity to get a superstar number 1 defenseman in the future, even though he's not going to play for you maybe for 2 or 3 years, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I think it would be managerial malpractice not to do it, because if you again, it's a gamble because maybe he's not. Maybe he turns into just an okay player.
Right. Yeah. Everything is a gamble when you're drafting a kid. But if you pull it off, everyone's like, "What a play that was! That draft." They'll be talking about the Berkey draft. By the way, congratulations to Berkey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the draft that Berkey went ahead and got both the Sedins right after each other.
Yep. Well, that's right. And again, I get it. It would be counterintuitive to the idea of this year you're supposed to be productive and you want to turn this wagon around.
Yes.
And Nyes is going to help you to do that. But anytime you think you can get a true bona fide number 1 defenseman for a winger, I think. So
here's my question to you.
You're looking into doing that seriously.
It comes back to what I posed on Friday, because I missed the show yesterday. But what are the Leafs trying to accomplish here? Like, you sign Radish, to me that says we're trying to make the playoffs here.
That's what it is, Jamie.
That's kind
so
of what
it's
I
like
keep
you can't have
up,
the no plan where it's like, oh, we're trying to make the playoffs, and then the next day you're like, oh, we can get this kid Chase Reed.
Right.
Like that's kind of the no plan, Hayes. You can't argue that. One day we want this, and then one day we're getting a defenseman that's going to be 2 or 3 years away. But it's kind of all over the place, to be perfectly honest with you.
But again, I want to wait until the finished product is from John Chaika. He might be wheeling and dealing. What's interesting for me, and it comes back to the Tkachuk thing that happened yesterday, or we discussed it yesterday, is if you believe Austin Matthews, and by all accounts, Austin Matthews must have told him, "I'm coming back," you don't do the Radish deal unless Matthews is saying, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Go get better.
Sure.
Right? So, but if you believe that Chase Reed is going to help that process, then yes, you do it. But I don't know if it's at the cost of a 23-year-old power forward. Like, that's the $1 million question. If you can do something else.
I'm just saying, I actually don't think that, like, I just think that that's a smart play in a vacuum. Like, let me give you an NFL example where the Packers are an example. They drafted Jordan Love.
Yeah.
They had Aaron Rodgers. They were in win now mode. And they said, this is a guy who's going to, that's our quarterback in the future, and we can get him now. And he sat on the bench for 3 years, and Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs, and they went to the playoffs, and they're competitive. You know how happy they are that they made that decision back then?
Agreed.
They're ecstatic. And that's it. And what I'm saying is, because people write me in now saying, well, that would mean it's a rebuild. No, it's not. You trade Matthews, that's an organizational shift in terms of philosophy. Matthew Nyes, in my opinion, just doesn't meet that description.
Well, he's not a superstar.
No, he's a
really
very
good,
and I'm a fan of Matthew Nyes. This isn't like you got to move him. That's not what I'm saying. McKenna's coming in, right? Like McKenna's coming in, and for basically my whole life, they have been seeking a number one defenseman. Now, I can't guarantee you that's what's there at 4. I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying I know Chase Reed or Verhoff or Albert Smits or Carls. Any of them are going to turn into that. I don't know. And that it would take some stones to trust your scouting department to tell you this is a guy you can't miss out.
Right.
Cale Makar went 4th. And I'm not saying that's what Reed is going to be, but he went 4th. If I took you back in a time machine and said, would you trade that guy for the 4th pick?
Yeah.
But you're being competitive. What are you going to tell McKinnon? He wants to win right now.
Well, maybe that was Ryan O'Reilly at the time in Colorado going.
And if you ask Joe Sakic, you'd be like, are you nuts? Right. Are you crazy? Of course I'm going to take him and be patient and build with him. And it doesn't mean that it completely crumbles who you are as an organization.
No, but like O brings up, and this is fair to say, what is the plan? If you believe that, then the plan is, hey, we have a core here that we believe in, or guys that I believe are going to help get us back to the playoffs, and that's Matthews and that's Nylander. Maybe it's Cowan. Maybe it's McKenna, and you think, okay, that left side is eventually going to be jammed up, sooner than later.
Yeah, maybe Tavares is moving to the left side.
So, yes, let's try and get value out of it. This is fascinating for me because, again, I think we are going to see a ton of movement, not just from the Toronto Maple Leafs. A lot of organizations are going, we got holes to fill, and we got to be proactive because from what it sounds like, the people I talk to in the league, they're all in on the same players. Because if you're looking for a left winger, it's Jake DeBrusk in Vancouver. Is Matthew Nyes available? There's 5-6 guys of teams that you're looking at and going, you have to make those calls. Doesn't mean that the manager makes a deal, but to me, that's what I'm looking at.
And there's going to be some teams that if they don't act quick enough, they're going to be going to training camp and the fan base is going to be like, what happened to all those busy phone calls and this is the roster? We've talked about there's not enough good players to go around. So there's only so many calls and teams that can get a certain player. And there's teams that are going to fall short and miss out. You look at the Ottawa Senators, there's some Sens fans, like Sens Twitter thinks that they can trade the 9th pick for a star player, like an all-star player. No. That doesn't happen. Like a team's not just saying, oh, okay, you want our all-star? Give us the 9th pick. That's not how it works. And I think they've got it. They're kind of thinking that that's what's going to happen. That's just.
Well, there's a lot of emotion in Ottawa right now.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of,
and I understand that.
Yes,
I think
100%.
Ottawa can use that currency to get multiple players, like those first rounders. Keep in mind, like I think there is a scenario where you might get your wish. You can fill Brady Tkachuk's spot with Tim Stützle because Dylan Cousins can be your number one centerman and Shane Pinto can. You think Greg into Pinto?
Pinto won.
Okay. Anyways,
Cousins, Greg.
Okay, fair enough. I see the other way, but it doesn't matter. They're good players, and they've got some depth there. But if you move Stützle to the wing, now you're looking at other players and going, okay, I can I brought up a guy like Jake DeBrusk. If I'm looking at Gold, he's got a reasonable contract. Like that has value. I look at Pittsburgh. Are they going to move Raquel or Rust, one of those players? Sounds like they might be available. Now, apparently they were available last summer, and it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. But I start to look around the league, and I think Ottawa can add to their group and slot guys a little bit better, not just with one player. It might be two or three that kind of balances the group out.
But still, Jamie, you're talking about, like, those players you just mentioned, all good players.
Yeah.
Jake DeBrusk, Ricard Raquel, Brian Rust, like, they're good players.
Type of players, yes, yeah.
Like, is that what we're talking about? Is that the pool of players where if you need a quality winger, that's what you're looking after? I mean, you can go and blow your doors off and give Alex Tuck a bunch of money.
Well, that's another thing, too. Maybe they go and say, we'll overspend for Alex Tuck because he's a big body who can skate and be physical and he can score. And it sounds like, I don't know if they're close in
probably going to free agency. So, nothing guaranteed.
Like,
but
I think you're going to see teams, like we just said, take a swing. You're not going to hit a home run on all of them, but, if you are proactive, and again, I think there's a lot of teams in on the players that I mentioned and lots more. Zach Werenski, what's his deal there?
Well, that's gonna be a Quinn Hughes type of scenario, though. Like that's he just won the Norris. He's one of the 12 or 13 best players in the game. Like, that's big game hunting. That's an extreme decision and what happens and who's in on the short list and who he's willing to sign with in the future. I don't have an answer.
I think there will be obviously a massive marketplace for him. I don't know there's a spot that he would go, I need to go to that organization right now.
To guaranteed to win right now?
To at least
it just doesn't really exist.
Right,
listen, I think if Hedman isn't going to play anymore in the future,
that's it.
I look at Tampa.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they just let Radish go. If Hedman is leaning towards retirement, that's Zach Werenski time.
There you go.
Step right in. We'll trade for you. We'll bring you in. I could see them lurking. The Dylan Larkin scenario is still unresolved at this point.
Yeah.
It's still an outstanding trade request. I don't see Florida doing it. It's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
Vegas, I think it's possible. I don't know what that would look like, but I could see Vegas possibly kicking tires. Some reports maybe Dallas is where he wants to end up. Okay, we'll see. But that's that's still unresolved at this point.
The other thing that we can't rule out is Vegas. Is it just a foregone conclusion that they're going to sign Rasmus Anderson? I don't think he played particularly amazing for them.
It wasn't great.
When the chips were down, him and Hannafin really struggled at times. Like, I could see them being cutthroat and go, well, we traded for Anderson, didn't work, maybe we'll move on. Now, who knows? By the end of the show, they might have extended Anderson. But I just think there is going to be a lot of deck chairs that move around here.
Well, and you wonder about expansion that is coming to the NHL, how it affects decision-making and ownership. Because
Houston, I want it in Houston.
Well, it's coming.
Austin.
Austin is amazing, too. That's where
it's coming. The Board of Governors are happening today, and Bettman, I guess, said, Pierre LeBrun tweeting out that they've agreed to a $3.5 billion expansion fee if they go ahead with either Houston or Austin. And it's happening. There's one family, the Friedkin family, I guess, in Texas, that basically they're going to get to pick their poison, Houston or Austin.
Yeah.
And it sounds as if they're only going to go with a 33rd team and then wait a couple more years and then add a 34th to balance out the league.
Toronto, a second one.
Well, Bettman, I don't think is going to leave until he's got 34 teams. They're going to pump $7 billion into the owners' pockets. But it's going to be two more likely southern markets, another tax-free state.
Atlanta? Is it Atlanta?
Well, Atlanta, it appears as if they're at least intrigued by that. I don't know the tax situation in Georgia,
Yeah.
But it's a southern state. Houston, though, Austin, Texas, I don't know.
So I
understand it's a business, and I get it if you're one of the other owners and you're just looking for a quick, whatever it is, $30 million or something. Like, I understand why you might vote yes on this, but this is not, it's not necessarily in the league. Like, the product is, it's wide open to begin with. There's diluted. There's a lot of teams that just don't have a lot of good players.
Yeah, you know what talks louder than that? $3.5 billion.
Yeah. Cash.
Yeah, that's why that's going to ultimately win in the end.
Cash is king.
Like they're not announcing this unless they know it's happening.
So I played. Minnesota's farm team was in Houston. I played a season there. It's a great city.
Big town.
Houston is a big city. They told me a stat there when I got there. You could eat out for dinner and lunch and breakfast every day for 10 years straight and not eat at the same restaurant. Like that's a type of like food they've got there, and restaurants and amazing. We practiced in Sugar Land. The rink was where the Rockets played. I think there's a lot of money there. There's a fan base there. But I think Austin is intriguing too. Austin is kind of like the new, it's like Nashville to Vegas. Mm-hmm. Houston is well known. I think,
Austin is more of a cooler city. It's always been a university or college town.
But I just don't know what the population. I actually know 2 people that have moved to Austin recently, just for tax structure, and they've left California. But
if they want to go on more of a slam dunk, like population, just bigger city, and putting people in the stands, like fire the team in Houston and get on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Like Bettman doesn't let this get out unless it's a formality. It's going to happen. They're going to expand, which means teams are going to lose a player, in the future, and we're going to have another expansion draft, and
that'll be a traditional one again, though. That's going to be Seattle.
Yeah, it'll be more like Seattle, and Seattle's a team that I have no idea what they're doing. Like they just signed Bobby McMahon to a 6-year contract, and
reasonable price to $575.
Yeah,
you gotta have players,
but it's like, and then they picked up Sam Miscavige, who it's just 2 middle 6 wingers that you're going to pay a lot of money to, and I don't know. Seattle missed a big opportunity, and they've turned coaches over and management over. Well, I don't know who the face of that team is. I have no idea.
I thought it was going to be Matty Beniers. Like I thought he was kind of their first round pick.
Completely fell off. Completely after his rookie year.
I think he's had concussion problems and he's just fallen off.
Yeah. But, yeah. Like I honestly, tell me who is the marquee player for the Seattle Kraken?
Might be Joey Decord right now.
Well, Joey Decord is a really good goaltender. But remember, they signed Grubauer for more money. That's why he went to Seattle from Colorado.
Disaster of a signing.
But he ended up having a really good season last year. But Montour, Brandon Montour signed there fresh off a cup. I'm just trying to.
I know, but that's the point. It's like nothing against Montour and Dunn and they've obviously Shane Wright they drafted and Beniers but I just
it hasn't jumped off the map.
There's no one on that team. They traded for Marchment.
You know who
this
the face
year.
is looking it up now? It's Eberle. He's their captain.
Probably Jordan Eberle. Yeah, probably Jordan Eberle. But again, not exactly like an established legacy there.
Yeah,
I still think of him as an Oiler, and then I would go Islanders second, and then clearly Kraken third.
Yeah.
Anyway, Johnny coming up today. Mike Babcock officially announced as the head coach of the Oilers, and he spoke with the media, and he had some very Mike Babcock comments today. So we'll play some of those. We'll get into it. Confirm or deny coming up. Jay's in action tonight. Ernie Clement banged up, not in the starting lineup, but he's leading the American League in all-star votes. I think that's all because of the Lincoln Cup. I'll be honest. I think he got the Lincoln Cup
people
boost.
Tuned in and just started voting.
Yes. They said, man, that Lincoln looks really good. I'm going to go vote for that Ernie Clement. So more on Ernie and the fact that Bieber's getting a start tonight. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Bombers, Thursday on TSN. CFL lives here.
Tomorrow, Canada is back on TSN 1050. Canada takes on Switzerland at BC Place, Vancouver to wrap up the group stage. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The FIFA World Cup 2026 lives here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Austin trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for Confirm or Deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
Well, I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, here we go. A little confirm or deny brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. Enjoy $15 lunch at BP where you get an entree, a side, and a drink, and you'll get it all in 20 minutes or less. So fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. See you for a $15 fast lunch at your local Boston Pizza. All right, let's begin with a Brady Tkachuk question. We saw him doing the rounds. He did his podcast. He had his introductory press conference. He went on with McAfee.
I was going to say McAfee
with his brother today. So he was on McAfee talking about this. Confirm or deny, Brady Tkachuk will get an icier welcome back to Ottawa than Mitch Marner got coming back to Toronto.
I am going to, confirm that. I don't know why. I think it might get greasy in Ottawa. They're offended, right? They take it personally when a guy decides he doesn't want to play for their team, and the fashion that it happened when he came back and said, I don't know why people are talking about this. The way this whole thing played out, it screams of people being pissed off. Regardless of how hard the guy played, regardless of his time that he put in the organization, it'll get greasy in Ottawa.
Yeah,
confirming it.
I'm confirming it because of the situation, too, Marner's contract expired. So it was different. He chose to leave because he had an expiring contract.
Yeah.
Brady still had term left, 2 years left, and he let them know, I'm not going to extend. Do with that what you will. I think there's, it's a trade request.
Yeah, he demanded out
right.
This idea that we're just not signing in 2 years. Like Steo said, no, it was a trade request. But I think that's important. That's a big difference.
He wanted out. He asked for a trade request. Mitch Marner didn't ask for a trade, not once, from what I understand. Yes, he chose to leave and went on to Vegas, and the fans have the right to be mad and, take a shot at Marner and all that. In Brady's situation, I know the fans they take it personally because this is a guy that's been their captain, they've identified with. I think the fans have every right to be pissed off, and I think there'll be more vitriol directed towards Brady because that he asked for a trade, not just walk 100%. Free agents.
And I think I'm confirming it around the table too, because I think there's another layer to it that is separate from Marner because we're talking about the two. No one disputed Marner loves Toronto and being from Toronto. I am fairly certain he's already home in Toronto.
Right.
Like he's going to spend his summers in Toronto and in Muskoka.
Yeah.
So that wasn't what it was. It was he didn't want to be a Leaf anymore.
Right.
In Brady, there's a perception, and I think there's a reality, he doesn't want to live in Ottawa anymore. That's sharper, in my opinion. That's more hurtful if you're, if you're from there. Because it wasn't like this idea, I just needed a new chapter.
Yeah.
Really? Like you had 0 points in the round.
Right.
Like you didn't pull your weight, and they're a pretty good team. And you got a lot of friends on that team. Yeah. It just seems like it's deeper, the reasoning for leaving. Marner, it was simply the bright lights, it was loud.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be a Leaf, and everything that came with that. I think in Ottawa, they look at Brady as part of it was, I don't want to live here anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
And you mentioned the 0 points in the series. That's that would put a lot of weight on your shoulders because it's not like he just dreamt that up one morning as soon as they got eliminated. He knew that shortly after they got eliminated, he was going to do that. So I don't know. It's self-induced weight on your shoulders, but when you know you're going to do that, it puts a lot of mental, because you know it's coming up. And then you got to go play professional hockey in the best league in the world and try to win a playoff series. He put it on himself because it was his decision-making. But I just know that if I knew that I was going to do that with all of my teammates and everybody, and you're trying to play, it's just a heavy thing. Like, he put it on himself, but tough thing to do.
The one thing I told you guys this, and I'll say it too, is the only thing I take umbrage with is the leaks and reports, Renaud Lavoie going, he's, dissension in the room and he was bad leader, kind of that's garbage. I'm sorry. I've been around that team. He has friends in the dressing room. The guys loved him. He's really tight. He's really respectful in the community. And if you look at it, like, to me, I get that the market could be pissed off that he's chose to leave.
I've never liked that piling on after a guy leaves. Some sources say that he was a total dick and nobody liked that.
That's garbage. And
you got to name names.
It's garbage. It's complete garbage. And I saw it happen to Chris Pronger when he chose to leave Edmonton. There's all these rumors. He knocked up a reporter. He did all these things. It was garbage, and people carried water for it. And that's the one thing I'm disappointed out of all of this. You can be mad. And rightfully so, because a player has chosen to leave and ask for a trade. But the whispers of all this and that. Mm-hmm. I've been around the guy for how many years?
Yeah.
Not once did I ever have a negative interaction with Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Not once.
No, and
that's my own personal opinion.
Yes.
But that's
I'm always been the reputation that I've heard through you and through other guys that, Brady's just a really good guy.
And classy,
like a really,
and
really
respectful,
good guy.
And, took care of his teammates, all of that type of stuff. I understand.
Yeah, fandom doesn't, you don't know him personally.
Right.
You're thinking of number 7, the captain, who said, I want out.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be that deep.
And you make a great point. I heard you guys yesterday, and you were bang on that. Like, you can be pissed off as a fan, and rightfully so, because today the Ottawa Senators are weaker than they were the day before he left.
Well, and that again, I'm not surprised by it because I get it. But there's a lot of spinning the other way all of a sudden, like, I didn't really like him as a player. He's overrated.
You knew
now.
that was coming.
Yes. Now it's like, it's a great trade because he stunk. It's like, okay, I don't think you really believe that. I understand you don't like him now, and you're feeling like especially if you stuck up for him, which a lot of fans did. Media, leave him alone. He's not going anywhere. He was gone, and he was not being truthful to you.
This might have been in the works a year ago. It certainly sounds like it was in the works after the Olympics.
Yes,
him and his brother, roommates at the Olympics. Joking around like you have
the podcast. Keith on the podcast.
Honest to God,
there was a lot coming out of it.
Use that saying. Read the tea leaves. If you would go back and just remove emotion from it. The tea leaves were pointing at he was going to move on.
Yep. All right, confirm or deny. A team would be smart to give Sergei Bobrovsky 3 or more years of term. 3 or more years. So it'll be 38 at
It's
Puck
almost
Drop
like I
next year.
need to know what the answer is of what they're looking for him. Like looking for from him. Like, are the Leafs looking for Sergei Bobrovsky to get them on a couple runs to a conference final? Then obviously, that would be worth it. But like, what is the team? And I don't want to screw up the segment, but I'm gonna confirm it.
Okay, you're confirming.
Confirm
so 3+ years is fine for Bob.
Okay, as long as it's 4, that's it. Like
there's a cap on that. Okay.
I'm
3
putting
to 4
a cap
years is
because
smart.
if you're
it can't
saying
be 6 or something.
If it's
You're right.
the Marchand deal,
stupid.
Then I'm saying no. But I think if I saw something I watched the other day on YouTube, it was Bobrovsky's workout routine and how amazing of shape he keeps himself in, how he takes care of his body. We do see athletes play into their 40s now. Goaltenders a little bit different.
Are tough.
A little bit different. But keep in mind, I don't think you need to bring him in as a 60-game starter. Can he play 40 games for your organization if you have a young guy that you are grooming? it comes back to
and
what you just said.
Akhtiamov's Russian goalie that I'm sure looks up to Bob.
Right. It depends on what you
stretching with
what
that
you
one.
just
No,
said.
it's the truth, though.
But what you just said, it depends on the organization and where his fit is within it. If I said to you, would you give Bobrovsky 4 years at 5, or give me a number, like a reasonable
like
number,
5-6 million,
6 million, but he's going to mentor Akhtiamov or another young, good goaltender in the National Hockey League.
Look at Joe from the bridge. He has been waiting to
he's been
show
sitting
that
on that
clip
forever.
of the two of them at the red line. I love it,
but
Joe.
But at the end of the day, I say yes and I confirm it because I think there's still good hockey left in Bob, and he doesn't have to be your, again, 60-game starter. I think you peel him back and go, if you can give us a 45 starts or 45 games for the next 3 to 4 years, I'd take a swing on that.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. Given what the market is right now for goaltenders and how thin it is.
I'm going to deny it. It scares me. Anything beyond a couple years, like he'll be 38. Last year the team was a mess. They didn't play well. It was a gong show year. They basically put up the white flag. Numbers weren't great. He's played so much hockey.
Right.
That would be my only concern. Like and I get you can move off contracts, and that might be it might be a wink, nudge. You play
Part
for
of
2
the
years.
risk. And he knows.
But what if you want him for 2 years and
maybe
you
I
got to
don't
pay him
have
for
it
4?
for
And that might have to happen to get somebody like that. And I would be I'd be very wary of going that deep. Like you're talking into your 40s with a goalie. And listen, Bill Zito said the door's not closed on Bob staying in Florida. I'm sure they're going to continue to negotiate, and I'm sure their hope is probably to keep him. But I will say with the Leafs, like the best way, it's always a gamble, and especially with that position because you just don't really know what you're going to get year to year for the most part from goaltenders, even the best. Yeah. Look at Bob last year. Look at Hellebuck last year.
Yeah.
Didn't have great seasons. But if the mandate with the Leafs is like you got to get back on a saddle, you got to be competitive, make the playoffs, the best and most likely way for that to happen is very good goaltending.
Right.
Like that is in a lot of ways systems proof, sometimes, power play proof, sometimes injury proof to other players. Like it's asking a lot, and I think it'd be asking probably too much of a 38-year-old Bob, but like Hellebuck, if he was 33 and you got him and you're like, are you ready to play? And he's like, I'm playing 60 games this year. That's a great start in predicting 100 points for your team.
I think if you're a quality team, Hayes, that's got championship aspirations, you don't even want Hellebuck to play 60.
Sure.
If you don't need him to, you just say, you know what? Give us 50 good ones and be ready for the playoffs.
Yep.
So the other thing, just to put a bow on Bob, we see it all the time. Somebody signed for 7-8 years and you go, boy, the last 3-4 years that deal might have to. The Tanev deal here, people were like, okay. But at the end of the day, if you believe that you can get 3 or 4 good years on the front of that contract, maybe it is. We need 2 years out of Bob, and the other 2 could be, we'll take our chances.
See what happens, and someone breaks through.
And again, if it's something with a 5 or 6 in it, with the cap going up, it's not that detrimental.
Okay.
And he's a Hall of Famer. He's arguably one of the best goaltenders of this generation.
I think it's inarguable. He is.
This isn't, a third line,
Yeah, but it would be different if it was, hey, he's signing for $3 million and he's a tandem and it's the, like end of the career. You're gonna have to pay him, right? Like you are gonna have to pay him. But I hear you. I'm curious to see what happens with Bob. I think that's a big discussion over the next week. Confirm or deny, Ernie Clement is the most popular athlete in Toronto right now.
100% confirmed. Not even a doubt.
People are mad at Vladdy. That's why.
I know. Vladdy is he's in a bad place.
Watching the grounders, it's so painful.
Yeah. He had a big one yesterday that did cash, but I don't know if I love Ernie. He's my partner. He let me down on the greens a couple of times, which is disappointing, but
he's
like
got everything.
Vladdy,
though.
Austin Matthews is still here. Like he's.
No, but dude, the question is right now.
I know
Ernie
that.
is. I'm going to clip this and I'm going to text it to my guy Ern because we do have a texting relationship.
You just steward yourself with Ernie. I don't know Ernie, and I'm saying I'll tell you why. He's good looking too.
Wow.
Like
yeah, we've established that. The bar play on Ernie Clement could be through the roof.
He's a 5-tool guy.
Yeah.
6.
Oh, I told
Six-tool guy.
I told you the story about when my wife sent me the text. She said, "Get a picture with Ernie."
Yeah.
I
And
said,
I'm going to crop you out.
No, I said, "Do you want me in it?" She's like, "I guess if you want to be." Like, okay, I'll see.
That's this guy is a 6-tool guy because he's a great player, really well liked, having a great season.
Awesome guy,
and
affable
he's
guy.
a 10.
And you know what? Doesn't have the contract hanging over him either.
That's true.
like he's making good
He's
money.
not making $40 million.
Didn't sign a $180 million contract where that gets attached to you.
Yeah.
But he's leading the American League. It's him and Ohtani neck and neck for the most All-Star votes. Do you know how absurd that is? That's how much people in Toronto and throughout Canada love Ernie Clement. So maybe that's your answer right there. Maybe that's maybe there is. It doesn't have to be deeper than that. He's the easiest guy to like right now.
Yes.
He works hard. He plays well. It's second base. He moves around the diamond when need be.
Yes.
Moves up and down the lineup. He's not like a lock to hit anywhere in the lineup.
Doogie, clip all of this and send it to Ernie.
And especially that last part. Ernie,
the early on part where you're like, nah, I don't know, Vladdy.
Well, I mean, Vladdy and Austin Matthews they've been here for a decade.
Vladdy ain't moving needles right now, dude.
People are.
What would Vladdy have to do to?
But remember what he just did 6 months ago.
I know.
Like,
that's
do we
long
not
gone.
remember
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
that was
long
in the World
gone.
Series, though, dude. This is
fair.
game like 80.
But it's now July. Like
they're
that's
back in a
over.
playoff spot. They're back in a wild card spot. Back to 500.
They can't take 2 steps back now. They've got they've been
floor
2 steps forward, 4 steps back all year long.
Yep.
They can't take a step back now.
You're 100% correct.
Was Cease yesterday at all blended?
Cease was last night. He played very well,
like Cease.
and he pitched well, and they got themselves a win. Okamoto was great, man. He's up to 17 home runs on the year. Like Okamoto's been really, really, really quality for them. All right, I got some more we'll sprinkle in, including a Mike Babcock one we'll get to, and we'll play some audio from Mike earlier today. May not surprise you, but he's still Mike Babcock. We'll get to that and more coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live. right, Mike Johnson coming up. We got some more breaking news in the NHL. The Ottawa Senators have acquired William Eklund from the San Jose Sharks. We don't know what's going back the other way. But Eklund, is a former top 10 pick, 23 years old, back-to-back 50-point seasons.
He's a good player, only 23, yeah. But you and I were talking off air, doesn't that kind of indicate that they're probably going to take Stenlund then?
Stenberg. That would be my thought there. Like you have Will Smith on the wing. If you're going to take Stenberg at 2, then again you've got an abundance of wingers, and they're I'm sure we'll see what's going back the other way. Like we don't know what Ottawa has traded them yet.
Yeah.
But
that's a big trade.
That's an interesting play. I mean, again, that's not an exact plug-in for Brady Tkachuk. Needless to say, you're not going to add, and you're not going to do that. You're not going to replace your captain.
And that's what you got to do when you lose a Brady Tkachuk. One guy goes out like that, you got to bring in 2 other guys, good players.
Yep,
exactly.
Yeah, but he's got some skill, and again, a 7th overall pick a few years ago. We'll see. We'll track what's going the other way. Mike Johnson on that and more coming up in about 10 minutes. Was it Kevin Weeks, Doogie, that was saying that about Bob? And give me the update on that, Doogie, because I can't find the tweet right now. But what is Kevin Weeks reporting in terms of who might be kicking tires on Bob?
The Kings, Sharks, and Maple Leafs.
Okay.
And
another team? Was there a 4th team?
Detroit.
And Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit.
And possibly
But
Detroit
it makes
as well.
sense on all fronts for all of them. I got to check, though. I thought Kemper had another deal in L.A. Another year, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But
maybe they trade him. Maybe they ship him out. San Jose, if you're going for Bob, you're thinking we were this close to making the playoffs. Time to get going here.
There's a goalie carousel going to happen here.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Aiden Hills, was on the outs there with Carter Hart taking over.
Skinner's a UFA. Talbot's out there.
But there's a lot of 3 goaltender situations. Obviously Freddie Anderson's unrestricted because they'll probably go with Bussy and Kochetkov. But I still think teams need 3 goalies. So you have to have 3 that can play.
Oh, and the Sabres apparently in on Bob as well. So, again, we'll see. And then you got to believe the Panthers are still kicking tires. But, yeah, I mean, the Leafs, again, we will – I don't want to say believe it when we see it because they've already made 2 pretty big moves. Like trading Joseph Woll and then acquiring Darren Radish. Like, those are big moves.
Yes.
But – all of the insiders in the game are reporting that Chaika's sitting on a couple of deals. He may not pull the trigger on them, but is sitting on a couple of options that could dramatically change the team.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I would think that's goaltending. I would think that's probably top 4 defense in like a Matthew Nye scenario.
Yeah,
like that.
Well, keep in mind Morgan Riley's in place, so that's
right. Like think about this: if Riley goes out, Nyes goes out. Let's say Bob comes in, plus. Like that is a lot of change.
Yeah, and
Radish coming in and McKenna's going to play.
They need I want to see more D come in.
I understand that
can skate and have not a 3 in the start of their age.
Yep. Well, maybe that is a part of what they're thinking as well. All right, Mike Johnson coming up. We're going to play a couple of Mike Babcock clips from earlier today as well. And, you can break them down as you usually do. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 5.
ready to kick off the season. Get ready to go! A new season of The Amazing Race Canada, Tuesday, July 7th on CTV.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles, McLennan. Some news out of the Canadian camp. Alphonso Davies will not start tomorrow, but is available to come off the bench. So tell me if you've heard that before.
Yeah.
We heard it against Bosnia. We heard it, obviously, the last match against Qatar.
He ain't ever starting if he ain't
code.
starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's code for he's still hurt.
Well, like Moise Bombito didn't start the last match, and they brought him in the final 25, 30 minutes. I wonder if that's the plan here with Davies. Like, don't start him. Get him some minutes in the second half, get his feet wet, so once you get in, to the knockout stage, all of a sudden he can be at least maybe into the tournament, so to speak. But I'll believe that when I see it. Like, I'm not convinced at all that he's been given the green light to play. So we'll see what else comes out of it, and it's massive match tomorrow. We're on a little bit later. We're doing a post-game show tomorrow. Yeah, 5:30 to 7 we're on tomorrow.
5:30 to 7 tomorrow.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
He's got plans.
Yeah.
He had no idea.
You definitely had a dinner at 6:15 or 6:30, but with Jerry, probably, with Jerry and Elizabeth.
Elizabeth and your dear friend Fred.
Fred, who we love.
And Jerry.
We love Fred. We love Elizabeth. Two of the best.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out. So, tomorrow we're on after the match tomorrow night, so we look forward to that. You want to hear some Mike Babcock?
Yes.
Okay,
Let's hear this.
So Mike Babcock showed up. I found the gear very Babcockian. Like, he had the golf shirt that he had to put the jacket over, which I appreciate, right? No suit and tie. It's summer, and he's been retired for a while, so he's just trying to ease back into it. But was asked about that meeting he had with the leadership group, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, how that conversation went down, and basically give us some detail on what came out of it. Here's what Mike Babcock was willing to say about that meeting earlier today.
Leon, Connor, Zach Hyman, and the rest of this leadership group want to get better. And that's what they've asked of me. And they've told me, we have to be better, and we expect you to make us better. And I said, well, that's great to talk about in June. When camp starts and you're making a guy do things, you might not be so happy. And they said, no, that's not how it's going to be. We're all committed all in on winning. And obviously in that time period, we had gone through enough things and talked about enough things that they felt comfortable with the process, or I wouldn't be here. And I was very clear to them, unless you're 100% all in on Mike Babcock, I have no interest in being the coach.
Oh my God!
It's so painful.
Some of this guy's answers, like, you would think
Just
that
say
there
me.
would.
Don't say Mike Babcock.
Yeah, third person.
All
Mike
of his
Babcock.
answers, though, like Ryan Rashog asked him about what went on in Columbus, and he just said, my wife told me, let's get out of here, so we got out of there. Like, I just thought, and I was almost like privately, I don't know the guy. I've heard, like, as gory as the stories that everyone else has heard, it doesn't take very much to get on the horn and find out just even more garbage about the guy. And like, for some reason, I just thought, though, I cheered for him, like, privately. Like, this guy, he just can turn it around and just have some gratitude and just say, who I was in the past was nonsense and I got to change it. And maybe I can go out of the game in the right way. But you just watch that guy in this press conference, and that's the exact same guy. And he just didn't take anything from the past. And he's just like, it's the same Mike Babcock. And I actually feel bad for the guys. Because in 2 months, in November, they're going to say, what on earth did we actually ask for? Like, we did this to ourselves.
Unless they're good. Unless they're structurally good.
Well,
That's
they have to
only
win.
thing.
You
Well,
can be
the
structured
point
all
being,
you want,
like,
but you got to win.
That team has been a mess structurally for years. And they made the finals 2 years in a row, and they got picked apart by a structurally really strong team in Florida.
Like he got asked about sitting Mike Modano on his 1500th game, and he had some BS excuse about how it was acceptable for him. Like I give up. I was so disappointed listening to that guy, and there was some comparisons between like he get on the mic, and like Tiger Woods got off an airplane out of rehab like 2 days ago. And he just puts on a suit jacket and starts firing off golf stuff. And it's just like I'm Tiger Woods again. And like Mike Babcock, the same thing. He was just like booted out of Columbus for outrageous goings on. And he just shows up and he's Mike Babcock. Like I found some similarities where it was like right back in the spotlight and forget about it. And I'm just that guy. Crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should be surprised because, the story of Babcock is he is very confident in Mike Babcock.
Well, he
right?
had the word Mike Babcock.
Mike Babcock's got a compound fracture. Like Mike Babcock, and that's a Seinfeld reference for those of you that aren't aware of it.
Jimmy.
But he is in a scenario here where I think he realizes the only way he only knows how to coach one way. Yeah. And honestly, if you're the players, as ridiculous as that whole soliloquy sounded, that's what you're asking for. Because if you get a softened Mike Babcock, that's not going to work.
It's a watered down version.
Yeah, like the Babcock that you are kind of pining for here is the 2009 Mike Babcock who told Johan Franzen this or Mike Modano that, but also got the wins and a cup ring and all that kind of stuff. So if you want the full Babcock experience, then I actually think this is probably what you needed to see today. Because if you had Babcock softened, or just neutered in a way, I don't think that's not what the Oilers are asking for.
That's not what they're wanting. But you come back to what O's saying, careful what you wish for. Because
they're in now.
Yeah, they're committed to
Babcock's
it.
their coach.
But that's, there is going to be a time, 100%, where they're going, what is going on here? But again, the proof is in the pudding. Ask Johnny what he thinks of it. It's interesting because they're pot committed. And
they're in one now.
Works out or it doesn't.
And he said, "Hey, I'm harder on the star players than I am the other players." I don't know if the other players would agree with that necessarily, but here's Mike Johnson, our TSN hockey analyst, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. The full Mike Babcock experience, right? They're 100% in on Mike Babcock, and I guess that's what they're getting. If you're Connor McDavid and company, is that actually a good sign, the fact that it doesn't sound as if he has changed in any way?
Well, I can tell you that Mike Johnson was not that impressed with that presser because Mike Johnson wanted more. He was expecting more, and he wanted more, and he didn't get it. And if Mike Johnson got to commit to a press conference, he wants to hear what he needs to hear.
You're right. You're right.
The thing is, guys, I get what you're saying, but you would have thought, just for appearance's sake, if you want to go back to being the same sort of hard guy, arrogant, whatever in the dressing room, you want to grind on guys, you want to carve guys about this or that, if that's what you're going to go do because that's what you think you can do and should do, I still thought day one presser, I'm not asking for a full mea culpa, just a smidge of contrition. Oh, give me something. When asked about Columbus, you know what? I should have handled that differently. Good intentions.
Instead, Johnny, he said, my wife said, let's get out of here. It's just like, are you?
Yeah, we're not aligned.
Yeah.
We're not aligned.
Yeah,
let's get out of here. Wife pulled me out.
No, this is what he said. He goes, I hadn't scratched a guy. I hadn't sat a guy out. I hadn't done this. I hadn't done that. I could tell the coaching staff wasn't aligned. So my wife said, let's get out of here. Like, are you kidding me, dude? You're like that. That was a joke. That was a joke, that answer. Like, why not just say, you know what?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Go ahead.
Do you guys want to hear it? Do you want to play it? Okay, do we got it? Let's play it. This is Mike Babcock on the exit out of Columbus.
Well, I chose to walk away really straightforward, and I appreciate the question here. It was very evident before the year started. I hadn't benched anybody. I hadn't talked to anybody. I hadn't sat anybody out, and it was evident that we weren't together as a staff right from the get-go. My wife gave me a call and she said, it's time to get out of there. I'd been retired. I was pretty good at it. I got back to being retired.
That is the most ridiculous answer. Just a little nugget. Say, you know what? I did some stuff that I regret, and I got to get better from it, and it won't happen again. And I got to move on. I got a great opportunity.
Walk away. I chose to walk away with a pending NHLPA, NHL sanction investigation. Like, come on. Don't insult our intelligence. You can say, hey, I didn't think I did anything wrong, Hazy, but like, don't act like it was a totally normal departure. It's like you're insulting the intelligence of the people watching.
Yeah, and he wasn't retired; he was fired and still collecting money from the Leafs.
The other thing too is
like that's what he was doing. He didn't determine in 2019. I'm out of here. So they fired him.
Johnny, I agree with you too, because you had an opportunity today. Nobody was, even if it was phony, nobody would have believed it. But you just go, hey, I'm worried about the Edmonton Oilers. There's been mistakes in the past or whatever you want to call it, but I'm here to win. And like, you kind of could have prepared something and just said, you know, I'm not looking back, I'm looking forward.
Not how he operates.
But that's just you. But you come
wife
back.
Called me. Got to get out of there.
Well, that's a weird one. But also, like, I just don't understand
didn't
that.
Bench anyone because you didn't get to the season. You didn't bench anyone. You didn't make it to training camp. What are we talking about here?
On some level, yeah. Go ahead, John.
And he can do the same thing in the he clearly is unrepentant. He's not a change guy. He's a guy who thinks that the way he coaches is the way to coach. And there's nothing wrong with it. And if people don't like it, it's because his tone is off. Because he speaks to with a bad tone, like his kids hear a bad tone. It's not it. But what I want for the Edmonton Oilers players, I hope it works out and nobody has anything over the top unpleasant about their experience with Mike Babcock. But guys, it won't take long for one, hey, Jeff O'Neill, you are this. Mike Johnson, your family is that. Sort of offsides comment, offside. One call to the PA, one investigation opened, and that's it. I don't know if he gets fired, but it'll undermine all of his authority. So, yes, he can go back and be the exact same guy, but if he crosses a line like he has crossed before, and again, this is not criminal stuff he's doing. He's just doing, poor relationship, communication, whatever.
He's just being Mike Babcock.
He's being a jerk. I'm going to say a different word. Being a jerk. If someone calls the PA about that, they'll open an investigation so quick, and he might have another forced retirement. It was so easy to do something different, and then do whatever the heck you want in the dressing room. Do whatever the hell you want to Connor McDavid open day camp. But for this one day, he could have acted like a little. Just fake it. Fake you cared what happened and that maybe you shouldn't have done it exactly that way. He couldn't even bother with that, which tells you everything you need to know about how he's going to approach this job. Yep. Exactly the same way he approached every other job he's had.
The trades are pouring in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
So the Ottawa Senators have acquired William Eklund from San Jose. We don't know all the details of the trade, but that number 9 pick they got from Florida is going the other way, according to Chris Johnston and others. So I don't know what else San Jose is maybe sending to Ottawa. What else
is a three? They put it out there. It's a 3-player trade.
Okay. Do you have the details? I haven't seen that yet.
Well, the Sens tweeted it out.
Okay.
So William Eklund, Kasper Haltunen, and the rights to Brandon Savard.
A trade for Ottawa and for San Jose.
Yeah, I think William Eklund had sort of fallen out of favor in that young collection of good talent. He is signed long-term. He's a dynamic skater. He's like a slightly better version of Fabian Zetterlund, who they tried to acquire a couple of years ago and hasn't really popped there. But he will get them offense. He's a talented player, and he plays with good players, and he will in Ottawa. He is controlled. I think he's got 5 more years on his contract, so that does matter for these teams right now. They got the 9th. That's one piece of the Tkachuk puzzle. So they replaced some of the offense there. None of the physicality or grit or leadership. But, he's a good player. He was one of the players when I was bandying about outrageous trades for the 2nd overall pick. Like if you're going to trade an Austin Matthews out there, you go give him, you get the second, you get William Eklund. He would be the one guy who's a good forward who you could get out of San Jose because of where he fell in the depth chart and how much money he's going to be making. I don't hate it. It's got to be one piece of like a 3-piece replacement for Brady Tkachuk, but he's got term and he's got talent and he's not going to be going anywhere. All things that matter for Ottawa.
Johnny, on our award-winning segment, Confirm or Deny, Brian Hayes asked the question if Brady Tkachuk would be booed more than Mitch Marner would when he came back to Toronto. What's your confirm or deny on that one?
Oh, I'm a confident confirmation that Brady's going to get booed much harder than Mitch Marner. Much harder. Yeah.
Just because of the way this went down?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ottawa fans are more passionately fickle or sensitive about someone not choosing their market. I think, nobody wanted Brady to leave. That was no general fan felt like, we can't wait for Brady to get out of here. I think there was some percentage of Leaf fans who were like, okay, maybe Mitch Marner's thing has run its course. And the general politeness of the corporate crowd of Toronto was going to be polite to Mitch Marner. No, I think Brady gets it pretty hard when he comes back. I heard you guys talking yesterday. Hazy, saw your take about it. Does semantics matter to you at all? Even if the sentiment in his heart of hearts was like, I'm going to go to Florida. If in that, whatever, the year-end presser is like, I've always been, talking past tense, I've always been committed. I've always shown my commitment to Ottawa. I've never said I want to leave. All stuff that you kind of say is true. Like he never did talk about wanting to leave. He always did show a commitment to Ottawa. Like if he's talking past tense, I don't want. And if he didn't say I want to be traded, Hazy, he just said they said, hey Brady, what do you think's going to happen in 2 years? He's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go play with my brother or somewhere else. That's where I'm leaning right now. Does that change at all if he didn't say I want to be traded now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, again, his approach with, he was frustrated that people keep asking him would indicate, I think the read from a lot of Ottawa fans was, okay, leave him alone. He loves it here. You know what I mean? I think that's what makes this more scathing in a way, is that it also wasn't, reported openly leading up to it. Hey, there were no breadcrumbs. Be prepared for this.
Right.
I think he might be leaving. Hellebuck, no one in Winnipeg will be shocked if he gets traded tonight.
Well, now because of his comments,
it's out there. But also, it's being reported. Hellebuck, people are calling on Hellebuck. Maybe a change. It didn't get to that point with Tkachuk, right? Again, I think within the league, there were people that thought, okay, this might be something you want to be prepared for.
But that's because I come back to, he treated everybody really respectful, and he was respectful of that situation, even though. He came back from winning a gold medal. There were boos in that crowd. There was, there were things that he had to, kind of chew on.
100%. I will say this, though, and it was the same thing with Matthews here.
Yeah.
And
which was garbage. But anyways.
True. But the Canadians were not going to cheer because the Americans won. That is absurd for any American player to think, why aren't you giving me a standing ovation?
Right.
They beat Canada.
But
I get it. It was beyond that. It was more about going to the White House. Let's call it what it was.
Well, yeah.
A lot of Canadians took issue with the White House, with all of that, the State of the Union, and I agree. Listen, they're Americans. They don't. That's the reality. It's tough for us to understand that. They're Americans. Yeah. They're not Canadians. They're not going to see the world through the lens of a Canadian living in Ottawa, or Toronto, Winnipeg, Vancouver. They're Americans, and that's just the reality, and that didn't change whether they won or lost a gold medal.
You said it yesterday, and Johnny, you can chime in too, but fans have the right to be pissed, and rightfully so, because these players have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
But the player also has the right to do what he wants to do. Careers are short, and it's not like Brady put in 2 years there. What did he put? 9, 10 years in?
8 years, I think it was.
So I mean. At the end of the day, I feel bad for Ottawa fans because I'm, a guy who covers the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He's the marquee guy, and I do wonder, and Johnny, you can answer this, if actually the experience Calgary went through with Matthew and how eventually that turned into an absolute disaster of a trade because of one player, and we all know who it is, Huberdeau. If Ottawa said, we just want picks so we can
Yeah, you can't label that player X for Y.
Exactly. Like, do you think there's a chance they looked at that and said, maybe Florida put a couple players up? I don't know. Maybe they said, hey, you can have Verhaeghe and someone else if you want them.
Yeah.
And they said, nah, I don't know if we want to go down the Huberdeau road. You think that's possible? They learn from that experience?
Well, no, because I don't think they're going to get a player perceived to be as good as Huberdeau was then. They wanted Lundell, and Lundell's a known commodity. They would have been better off getting Anton Lundell than the 26th overall pick or the 9th overall pick. They would have been
100%.
better served. So I don't know if that was the case. But I do think, guys, one aspect of this, because you touched on it. Like, I know what people don't want to hear. There's not a lot of loyalty in the game. I know people find that offensive. But if Brady Tkachuk just said, I plan on playing out my contract to its conclusion as best I can, and then I will go wherever I want to go after that. Like, that's not a disloyal move. He's just playing out his contract. And and I'm just wondering, again, people don't care about this, but where's the energy to John Chaika or Stan Bowman for asking guys who have negotiated and presumably paid for in cash, no move clauses, and they're like, no, we're gonna not have you honor that. I don't see a lot of heat coming down on the GMs that they are character flawed quitters running from it. Where's the loyalty? I earned it. I was traded 3 times. I didn't want to get traded on Toronto. Where was the loyalty I was supposed to be afforded? It's not there, nor nobody expects it to be. If you didn't ask to be traded with time left in your contract, you just said, hey, when it expires, I'm leaving. That seems totally reasonable to me. Keep it the same way. You can't have it just the players are bad guys for wanting to move. Then players with no moves who don't want to go anywhere, Morgan Riley in Toronto, then the teams are bad guys for trying to force them to move. It's the same thing. You can't have it both ways. Either you're offended by it or you're not. And I'm not offended by it, either case. But if you are, Hayes, I think there's a comparison there, and the energy doesn't seem the same.
There we go.
Yeah. There's a couple things. One, first and foremost, fans are fans of the team first, not the players.
That's fair.
Every fan wants their team to do well, right? Like,
reminder about loyalty then. They don't care about you, they care about the team. Go ahead.
Yes. But that's my point. Of course, my point is it's going to be imbalanced. Of course, they're going to look at the team and say, hey, that was smart because that helps me get more wins in the future, as opposed to looking at the player and say, I understand what you're saying because you want to go somewhere else. Like, I think if you're looking at fans and asking them to be reasonable, that's your first mistake.
I'm asking you to be reasonable. I'm asking you to be reasonable.
But here's what I would say on that. If I look at a GM and say, okay, you're disloyal, but you're also stupid, I'll come on the air and say you should be fired. You can't fire a player. The contract's guaranteed. Guy signs an 8-year deal and doesn't pull his weight. So Elias Pettersson's incredibly loyal to Vancouver.
You can sit him out. You can sit him out.
Can you?
You don't have to
play
got
him. No movement clauses,
sure
no trade clauses. Are they getting paid? Do you get the money? Do you get the money to use it on another player?
GMs get the money when they get fired. They don't lose the money.
The point.
They keep getting paid.
It doesn't go against the cap, though, Johnny. Like that's
I'm aware of that, but you're saying like there's no options. You can elect if you don't like a guy. There are options. You don't have to play him. That's within the rules. You're operating within the rules.
Again, that doesn't help the scenario of whether or not the team's going to improve or not. But lastly on this, what I would say, again, this is not, it's more about the emotions of fandom.
Yeah.
Every team makes trades. Every team is ruthless. Not every player is just thinking about himself and what he's going to do with his career. There are a lot of, you can say that, but Sidney Crosby's like, I'm not leaving. I want to play in Pittsburgh. I'm going to play here my whole career. Jordan Staal,
he won when he's in his third year.
It's not the point. The point is
he's like,
year.
It is
I'm
part
not
of the
leaving.
point.
But he's like, there's an example of a player who's like, I'm loyal to Pitt. I'm staying here. So obviously other fans are going to say, man, that guy's amazing. Why can't we have that? Like, of course they're going to look at their guy and say, why don't you think that? Yeah, after 23 years, Johnny, you think it's it's apples to orange? Like, that's not apples to apples.
So how many years do I have to play?
Tkachuk.
How many years? 6,
I don't have
7, 8? How many years do I have to give you?
I don't
9,
have an
10,
I don't 20? Have an answer for you on that.
Well, you got to give me one.
But I don't see it the same way you do. You're not convincing me. I'm not changing my mind on the fact that I think that there's a difference between a team operating and a GM operating and players and the way the fans are going to approach their decision to jump or not and demand a trade, and furthermore weaponize the no movement clause where they're only willing to go to one place.
Let me jump in just quickly on this, because the argument's good, but the one thing that's being pointed or has to be pointed out, this is a business.
Yes.
And that's the one thing. Like, this is there isn't, there should be loyalty, but there's not.
Well,
like, that's the one thing.
100%. I'm not naive to that.
Right.
And let me clarify here quickly, Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't understand it from Brady's. That doesn't mean I have to like it, though. Like, that's
fair.
two separate things. I'm not saying, like, it's his life, it's his career, he's made a decision. I, for one, think there's a chance he regrets this in the end. Like, I think he's jumped as deep into his brother's shadow as you can get. Like, he is now.
If he wins the championship in the next 2 years, I'm pretty sure that'll all be erased.
Right now, I think he's probably very happy. South Beach, Florida, good team. If they win a Stanley Cup, that's Barkov's Cup. I said it last night on Jay. I can name 10 players that would be ahead of Brady on that marquee. 10 before you get to him and say he contributed to that. Because he's jumping on a train that's already going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying today or tomorrow or at the Cup party he'll look that way. I just wonder in 20 years if he'll look back and say, I wish I didn't go there. I wish I didn't jump on that.
Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. Absolutely reasonable take. I'm just saying, there's a lot of people slamming Larkin, Brady, Zach Werenski, whoever might be next up on the list that wants to, Connor Hellebuck, whoever.
Yep.
Like Brady specifically, I don't think he asked to be traded. He just said, "I'm not going to re-sign." There is a difference there.
No, he
I think he has to be traded. I think Staios made it pretty clear he wanted out.
He may have wanted out, but he was okay. Anyway,
but that's
he could have kept him for 2 more years.
Detail.
He could have kept him for 2 more years and said, "You know what? Like anyone whose contract runs its course, you're allowed to go elsewhere." I guess I am sensitive to players as long as they operate within the rules of the CBA. And I don't expect fans to be happy. They should be mad. They should boo. But the media like attacking the people for making this call, he's operating within the rules. Quinn Hughes, is he a bad person? Is he a bad guy? Is he a loser?
No.
Is he afraid of the heat?
But it's not personal, though, Johnny. Like, that's not fair. Like, it's not.
Well, I'm not talking about you specifically, but a lot of stuff I've read from professional media people are like, this guy's got no guts, can't stand the heat, he wants an easy life. I'm like, well, hang on.
That's what bothers me.
Maybe he just wants to live with his brother. If I had a brother in the NHL, I wouldn't mind playing with them. That'd be pretty cool.
But can he not call up Matthew and say, come get traded up here? Like, is that just not possible, or does he have to go to play with Matthew?
Yeah,
does Matthew not have to? But then you answered your own question. Obviously, a part of it is let's not pretend a part of it is in Florida, really good team,
Ottawa,
taxes,
Florida, living. Yeah, you can't.
Let's
be
pretend.
honest,
guys. I just want to let you know on the fly that after all of the speculation and all the talk on Jordan Kyrou,
traded to Washington.
I believe he's been traded to
You're
the Washington.
kidding me.
I know. I'm dead serious.
Okay.
I think he's been traded to the Washington Capitals.
Wow.
For who? Young Protas?
I have to get the details. Waiting for the details.
The
but
Odesk.
There's a chance. The Odesk strikes.
Well,
Jordan Kyrou.
Save it for next
Washington.
week.
No kidding.
Exactly. What the hell are we going to talk about?
Well, he's a trade, though. He's not a free agent.
I know.
Like, these are all trades that are happening.
I get it, but it just seems like there's a lot of business going on right now.
Do you think Ovi is definitely playing next year?
What's your percentage? Jerry's percentage, Johnny, that Ovi's going to skate through the doors in Washington?
This might make me think that he says, see you later.
Yeah, 30%? Because if he wanted a contract, he could just get it done. Like, give me $8 million and I'll whatever it is. I'll shoot right, can play on the wing, can play in the middle. Washington's going to be a good team. They got lots of young prospects. What's St. Louis doing then?
Let me give you the details. It sounds like it's for Connor McMichael, Milton Gastrin, and the 16th pick in the draft.
Okay,
so for Kyrou. That's
McMichael had 27 or something this year. He had a really good year.
McMichael's kind of mid. Is he 27 years old though?
No, he's younger than that. I think he's 23. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's quite a bit.
So then you're going younger, but I think you're
where's Robert Thomas then?
Yeah, I think you move away from Thomas then too. So
25.
He's 25 years old.
25.
I think you might see a pic of Ovi on the beach this summer that might be unflattering.
Does St. Louis now, do they put the white flag up? Is Parayko next? And
Bennington in play?
And Bennington in play. And you're just
But Parayko has a no-trade, Hayes. How do you handle that?
Not allowed to. Can't ask him. Wouldn't do it. That would be disloyal.
Be against
I'd never expect
Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid. It's a two-way street. Everything's got to be equal.
Well,
I've always said that.
No, but Johnny makes a good point because we're pissed at players that ask for a trade, but we're not pissed at management that go, get the hell out of here.
Listen, I'm pissed at everybody all the time. If you think I'm not giving it to management types.
And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, I'm always giving it
and
to
just so you know, I misspoke. It's not Jerry's percentages. It's Fred's percentages. Fred's percentages. Johnny, did you hear the story of what happened today?
Starting tomorrow, Fred's percentages. Go ahead.
No,
Did you hear the story? Fred.
So we went for lunch with two wonderful people.
Incredible people.
Fred and Elizabeth, okay? And, we got there. Hayes and I walked in, and was already holding court with them. And he'd been there for 30 minutes, just yucking it up with them.
We both got there 30 minutes early.
So
this guy's name was Fred.
Fred and Elizabeth, they're wonderful people. Halfway through the lunch, starts calling him Gary and then into Jerry by the end.
Starts calling him Jerry.
and
got
Jerry, we'll get to the alumni box this year.
But
and I'm
Johnny,
like, what?
I'm sitting right beside Hayes at this lunch, okay? And Jerry at the time said something, and I was like, you're damn right, Jerry. Hayes could have easily said, the guy's name's Fred, dog.
Yeah.
But he never did it. He just let it go.
Shoot you a text. Shoot you a text.
But Johnny,
name's
actually
actually Fred.
Text anything.
But Johnny, when I got there, he called him Fred.
Yes.
So I'm like, he knows his name's Fred.
Dude,
we must
maybe it's
have
his
missed.
nickname.
That's what I'm saying. We missed them establishing nicknames, and
I don't know.
I guess I'm out on this.
Honestly, I'm concerned about my brain functioning because as the lunch went on, by the way, I'm very fond of this guy. He's old school,
awesome
and I'm
guy.
looking at him, and I'm just
Awesome guy.
I kind of got lost for a second, and I just looked at him. I'm like, there's no way in hell that this guy's name is not Jerry. So I was like, you're damn right, Jerry. And Hayes kind of gave me a bit of a side eye.
Yeah.
But you could have just said his name's Fred. Like that would have ended it, and I would have been like,
but
I don't know.
It just morphed into it.
You're right.
To the point
The
where I
best
started
part, though,
second-guessing myself.
Is when you come in with the wrong name with full conviction. You're damn right, Jerry. Like, it wasn't like you didn't mumble it. You were fully committed because you knew his name was Jerry.
I was. I was Mike
amazing.
Babcock. I'm like, this guy's name's Jerry, so
That's
it's
right.
Jerry, and we're rolling.
I mean,
with
Jeff
it.
O'Neill thinks you're Jerry. Jeff O'Neill's going to call you Jerry. That's what
right.
Jeff O'Neill does.
As confident as I've ever heard someone name somebody.
And the handshake went out.
firm
Stuck his
shake
hand
and a
out,
bro
said,
hug.
Jerry, great to see you. And
Jerry,
he walked out. I was like,
be in touch. Keep in touch,
Be
Jerry.
in touch, taking you to a game, alumni box, everything.
It was wild.
It was
a wild scene.
Whoa.
But shout out to Fred. We love Fred. We love Elizabeth.
And Fred, I just want to tell you, I'm honestly really sorry because A, unacceptable. Your name's Fred, and B, I apologize for my two friends because they made no attempt to correct me.
That's on us.
It's completely
and
on
the thing
us.
is, Fred is one of our favorite names.
Yes.
We love the name Fred.
And
It's my cat's name.
It's a great handle.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, Eddie, Chris Edwards sent me that note saying you got to change it to Fred's percentages.
That's a great idea.
Because on the fly, I took a peek. I'm like, I'm going to give it
Tomorrow at 5:30,
Fred's percentages.
Fred's percentages.
I love it.
All right, Johnny. Great
All
stuff,
right.
buddy. We'll do it again later in the week.
On the way out, guys, Fred's percentages. Are we going to Houston or are we going to Austin?
Oof. I think
You guys chew
95%
on that.
Houston.
I say Houston.
95% Houston. But Austin.
Let's just say this: we'd like to go to Houston, but we'd like to tee it up in Austin too.
Yes. Great idea. Great call.
There we
Great
go.
call. All right, Johnny. Good stuff, buddy. We'll do it later in the week.
All right, fellas. Cheers.
There's Mike Johnson joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. It's time to Toyota. Check out the Toyota Tacoma and Toyota Tundra pickup trucks, both available as hybrids. Maple Toyota near Canada's Wonderland on the Maple Auto Mall. All right, best bets coming up. Speaking of teeing it, big news on the PGA Tour. We'll tell you a little bit more about that. And I'll bet you there's another trade by the time we're back on the air.
Yes.
So we'll break down the next trade next.
Bombers. Thursday on TSN. CFL lives here.
Tomorrow, Canada is back on TSN 1050. Canada takes on Switzerland at BC Place, Vancouver to wrap up the group stage. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Hear it all on TSN 1050. The FIFA World Cup 2026 lives here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets coming up. Hit another winner last night, Erling Haaland, and both
teams scoring.
Teams scored, dude. I'm on fire.
I saw that, and I'm like, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
I am seeing the board as clearly as you can when it comes to the World Cup. And Canada, Switzerland tomorrow, and again, Alphonso Davies will not start. But he's available to come off the bench. We'll see what that means in the end. There are so many trades going on in the NHL right now. It's
great, though.
Really wild stuff. This is really great stuff.
I told you. But again, if I keep saying it 10 years in a row, eventually something will come up.
You nailed it. Jordan Kyrou has been traded from St. Louis to Washington. William Eklund and other prospects from San Jose to Ottawa for the 9th overall pick. St. Louis now has, after the Kyrou deal, I believe the 11th, the 15th, and the 16th pick in the draft. And it opens up the door. Like, is this the white flag now? Is Robert Thomas gone? Binnington? Are you going to go to Parayko again and possibly look to maybe trade him? Are they blowing it up? Is that their plan? San Jose, on the flip side, trade Eklund, who's a good young player, for the 9th pick. Now they have the 2nd and the 9th pick. Yeah. So are you going to keep both? Are you going to trade one of them?
Maybe a trade
San Jose
down.
an interesting team.
There might be a team that really covets the number 2 spot that wants to trade up. And if you feel like you can get a player at 4 or 5, maybe you go, we'll trade down, give us player X. Like, I think you've got to be. I think San Jose is a fascinating team to watch right now.
Yeah, but doesn't Eklund going out the door, doesn't it basically say that they're taking that Stenberg kid?
Yes.
I would think so too, but I wonder about that 9th pick now. Like, does that pick just start floating around? Like, it was Florida's and then Ottawa's, now it's San Jose's. Like, would I be shocked if that went somewhere else?
No.
Not really.
Because I think managers are trying to be proactive here and grab players or grab picks and then spin them into live players.
Mm-hmm. And
it seems like, the currency that, there's a lot of first-rounders flying around here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like a 5th-rounder, yes, that was just a trade for Radish the other day. But
a lot of picks. And Gavin McKenna, was speaking with Gino Retta earlier, and he sounds like a pretty confident kid, And he
should be.
He should be. And it seems as if the Leafs just know they're going to take McKenna, and then beyond that, all bets are off.
Crapshoot.
Yeah, what's going to happen, beyond that is completely up for grabs. But this is just a wild offseason already, and it's June 23rd.
Yeah.
Like, the draft is
26,
still for a couple more nights, and free agency's still more than a week away.
Man, oh, man.
Like, there is a lot out there in terms of the rumor mill. Like, Mike Babcock got hired as the head coach. And it's like blending into the league.
That's like 4th on the depth chart right now of stories that have broken today.
Well, how would you rank the craziest stories so far in the offseason in the NHL? And the offseason's a week old.
You just tried to downplay it, but to me, Mike Babcock becoming the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers takes the cake by a long shot over Brady Tkachuk.
Okay. Yeah. I think I think you're right. I think I'd go Babcock 1. I'll say this. I know the dust is settled. John Chaika, the GM of the Leafs, is not far off of it.
Yes,
like,
you're right.
If I had told you 6 months ago.
You know what? I'm sorry. I totally forgot that was even in the equation.
So is that in the equation?
Could put Chaika to 1, Babcock to 2, Brady Tkachuk to 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're at June 23rd.
And, yeah.
Who else?
Like, if Hellebuck gets flipped.
Well, Dylan Larkin asking for a trade. Who saw that?
Dylan Larkin wants out.
Morgan Riley, apparently.
Yeah, Darnell Nurse. Maybe. We'll see if Nyes and his name are out there. What happens with Ovechkin again in the future? Like,
you know what?
Again, it's on the back burner right now.
We should do that for tomorrow. 10 craziest, or give us 5 or 10.
Yeah. Well, the NHL possibly going to Austin, Texas.
Yeah, to Houston or Austin. Like
Austin's it's a cool town, but
it is. But 10, I don't know. Like there's got to be 10 storylines already in the league.
Yeah.
Never know what Fred's percentages will bring tomorrow.
Yes. The Radish deal, the trade and sign.
Yeah, sign and trade for Radish. Man, Fred's percentages is going to be unreal tomorrow.
Outrageous.
I think Fred's percentages is going to knock it out of the park.
I can't wait. I'm really excited. Well, yeah, we're gonna see. Here's one for you. Here's a Fred's percentage.
Give me a Fred's percentage right now.
All right, so the PGA Tour has announced, like, they're going to track 1. They're not calling it track 1, track 2 either, which I think is smart, right? It's like the Champions Tour and the Challengers Tour.
Right.
Track 2 is basically like, get out of here.
Move along. Move along.
And apparently there's going to be like an international element to the tour at the end of through September.
You're telling me the PGA Tour is going to play in Europe like that?
Yeah, well, they're looking at national opens, possibly kind of continuing the schedule into September. Like, now, could that be the Canadian Open pushes back to September where it used to be?
I know are you talking the Aussie Open and
That's
stuff
what I'm wondering. Does the I don't know if this makes sense. Does the Scottish Open move to September? Does the Aussie Open become something that they commit to and they say, we got to get there? We're going to spend, the second week of September, you're going to South Africa, and then the last week you're going to Australia, something like that. I don't know. It's possible. But what's your Fred's percentage that the RBC Canadian Open stays on the Champions Tour?
100% for Fred's. The first
Love
Fred's
that.
percentage, because our insider, our golf analyst, Bobby Weeks, said, I'm told that the CBC or
the
RBC Canadian Open will be first track.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I want that. And I understand that complicates things because then it's not an open championship.
Right.
All of a sudden, it's like the top 120 players are coming here, and there's no more
there's
24
no
Canadians.
Monday qualifiers, none of that. But what's going to be fascinating is, when they first went to these elevated events, there was guys like Webb Simpson and Jordan Spieth and maybe Adam Scott for a bit that were just showing up at these events and just getting these kind of exemptions, and other guys were like, well, what the hell's going on here? Is this a popularity contest? It'll be eye-opening to a guy that if he falls off, a player like Spieth, who has that major championship pedigree, the popularity, everybody loves him, but his game's not up to snuff. Where are you going to play, dude?
It's basically relegation. Like, if you can't pull your weight, there's no more, hey, you're the great Jordan Spieth from 10 years ago.
You're playing in this event anyway.
Yeah, no, it's you're going down to the Challengers Tour. The track 2. That's where you're going. You're going to play in the Rocket Mortgage, or something like that. It's a totally different tour, totally different lifestyle, and you got to battle your way back up.
Yep.
But I'm 100% on this too. Fred's percentages. I think RBC Canadian Open remains at the top tier, which would mean Scheffler's coming up.
Yep, all the big boys.
Cam Young's coming up. Fowler's.
I'm going to send Elizabeth a note and say, we need Jerry/Fred to do a recording, a videotape recording to get Fred's percentages on the air tomorrow.
I love that idea.
I think we do it.
I love that idea. An intro, we get rid of the Jerry intro for a week.
Just 1 week.
And Fred steps in and
Fred's
goes,
percentages.
All we need from Fred.
Yeah, he's got to just look into the camera and say, "O-Dog, you're an idiot for calling me Jerry. This is Fred's percentages."
Perfect.
Or you're gonna want to hear this.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get a way to. We'll get Fred involved in Fred's percentages.
I love it.
I can't wait for this. It's gonna be great. All right, best bets coming up on the World Cup. I'm looking at the World Cup for best bets. I'm going to dial this thing in and recap what's already been a crazy day in the NHL. We haven't even mentioned Giannis got traded last night at 12:30 in the morning.
Crazy.
For the whole team.
Because everything's been going on for basically, more or less, a lot of the team and a lot of future picks. I don't know if it moves the needle. Like, obviously, it really helps Miami, clearly, because he's still a great player.
I know,
Not
dude,
young,
but you look at the supporting
down.
cast, he's not winning with that.
No, it's like it's Bam, and I'm not sure Miami skyrockets to the top of like best. They're not better than the Knicks right now.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's
Wiggins
the kid
on the wing.
in Toronto?
Wiggins is on the wing. They've got Norman Powell likely.
Norm Powell.
Yeah, they're probably going to keep Norm. And Norm's been really good, throughout his career, but it's not a roster you
It's
look
not
at.
LeBron going.
They got to add more to it, for sure. And I'm sure, Pat Riley and the Heat will do that, but and Milwaukee is going to spin the other way. Like they're going the other way, and I think possibly for an extended period of time. All right, Best Bets coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. We're on after the Canada game tomorrow, so I'm going to bet a draw in that match. I think both sides are going to be playing conservatively. And Canada only needs a draw to get through and win the group. But I think Switzerland probably looks at it like happy to get through as well. They don't need to mess around. They don't need to be overly aggressive.
Yeah.
Don't want to see injuries. Players playing on yellow cards. You don't want to get stupid and lose somebody into the group of 32. I think both sides, I'm not saying there's going to be a truce here. I think it'll be a good match. But I think Canada, Switzerland,
Why doesn't Canada just keep the foot on the gas, though, and just try to smoke their ass as well? Why not?
That would be
keep
great.
It rolling.
Yeah, but Switzerland's a really good team. That's the difference.
I don't see that being a blowout.
It's not. I don't see it happening. I think a draw is very likely. I could see a 1-1 draw tomorrow. I could see 0-0 tomorrow. I really could. So I'm going best bets, Canada, Switzerland draw, paying plus 200. Powered by FanDuel. Same game parlays available for every World Cup game on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 19 plus, physically located in Ontario. So again, a reminder, we're on after the match tomorrow, right? Canada, Switzerland on TSN Radio Network, TSN, CTV, Crave. Speaking of Crave, you can stream the show, OverDrive, every day on Crave. So if you're a subscriber,
love it.
Check it out. If you're not, subscribe. Find us on Crave. Find us on TSN's YouTube channel, wherever you download your podcasts, the iHeartRadio app. We're all over the place. All over the place. All right, thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, YouTube Live, Crave. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Freddie, Jerry, and Miss Elizabeth. We love you. 4 p.m.
We love you. We'll chat then.